The next item that we're gonna talk about is about some interesting objects. Here, for example, I go to the front view, I turn on grid snap, and I draw a line here. I select my line, and with the help of mirror command and zero origin, I produce the symmetry. And I draw these two lines, and I apply blend curve command, and first line and second line. I put these two on tangency. I hold shift and then I click on one of the control point and I drag it down a bit. And then I activate the join and OK. And in perspective, I draw two lines, one of them from here with radius 4, and I do the same on the other part. Now we're gonna draw two lines with the hex command on actually a round curve. I select the line, and while holding shift I click on quad just to consider a quad snap for me, and I put the turn on 1, and finally I draw a line like this. I right click and I apply the command again, and now our line again quad, and finally another line for me. I apply sweep to rail, first rail and second rail. I give it two cross sections, and then the surface that I want is created. And then I activated this surface isocurve. After that, I actually activate the domain number to create a paneling grid for myself, like 20 by 60 or 15 by 22. The ways that we had for creating the second grid, we could make a copy out of that grid, but here in this surface we can't do that. The other way was to make an offset out of this surface. I applied the offset surface command on round state. Loose gotta be no, and distance 1.5 toward the outside. Now it created as a polysurface. When I have a polysurface, I have to make grid for each of the separated surfaces. So we'd better actually to learn the offset point in grid utility. And just to explain this, I'm gonna draw a simple plane here. I make a grid here and like 20 by 20. And then from the grid utility, I select offset point. And there are here options, and I can use Gaussian curvature or mean curvature, attractor point or attractor line, or vector or random. I can change the distance between points in height. In some points it could be 5, and in others could be 1. Now we don't have anything to do with these states. Now for now I just put it on fixed mode. 1.5 here, and then for example points, enter, and it's plane. We see that points are made here. So I repeat the command again, and as number 1 I choose my points, and here it goes outside. The reason is that if I look at the direction of the surface with dir command, it's toward inside. Now here I can flip to go toward outside, and then I apply offset point, or I could even put minus numbers into distance. Now we have our surface, our paneling grids, and I don't need that. I make 2 copies so we can look at some interesting objects. The first thing that I want to draw here is a circle, and then with the help of array centered, I find its center. And now here I draw a vertical line, and with the help of quad, like this. And then I change the control points of this line. Okay, for example, something like this. And then I apply a revolve command. Let's say my line and my axis would be for circle. And then I activate panel custom 3D, first points and second points, and then the plane I have and the object. Gives me a preview of the object, and I press enter. And then I wait until it would create my panels. As you can see, now I can select the last objects that I made from a material part. From the custom parts, I can give it a color, some color like this, some transparency, and it could assign to the object. And finally, I put it on render mode, and we could see the work. If we wanted these to be a bit bigger, we can actually make our grid in a different way. As an instance, I select the surface, I take it out, and here I go and select dummy number. This time I'd say, for example, 30. $40 by like 24. Like 36 and 22, 46 by 22. And after this, I activate the offset point, and the size is 2/10. And now my points, the plane I have, I activate custom 3D. The first point, consider the first points on the surface, second points my plane and my object, and then enter and enter. We wait until it would create the panels for us, and then I can actually give the last objects that I've made the material that I want. And then I activate the render, and we see that such a form is created for us. And I also can consider another material, like for example gray, for my main surface. Like the way you see this. I hide the grid here so we could have a more transparent picture. So now let's move on and continue. I select them and then I hide them. With pressing the Control Edge, I hide them. For the next thing, again, I'm gonna draw a circle here, a point and a circle, a line in this part, and another line here. And then with the help of blend curve, I can join them together like this. And then I draw a line from the center, and then I activate the blend curve, and I put the blend start on big point, like from this part to this part. And then I flip it to become like this. And I can make the second on position state. I activate the trim, and then OK. And I don't want this line, and I want this line to be mirrored. When it's mirrored, OK, with the help of match, I put it on average, and then OK. We don't need this line, and we can join these lines together. And then I apply a revolve command, and I say from this point and enter UV. And it created such a form for me. And with activating my control point, okay, let's shift it to the right view. I can select a point and scale them a bit, or select the upper points, and then okay. Then I activate the panel custom 3D here, and then I try to select them all: first point, second point, and my surface, and then my object. Now we have the preview here, and I press the enter to confirm the command. Now I gotta wait to see the result. Maybe the grid is with more density here, so it makes it a bit heavy, but on the other side it would get more beautiful when it's applied. You see the height is so low, so I delete the points, and then I delete this too. Then I select offset point here, and like 2.5, it gotta be offset. I make a copy for my next level, and then I activate panel 3D custom, and then okay. Then I select my last created object. I gave a material that I want to it, and at the end I'm gonna watch it in render mode here. Now here we know that we are observing our surface, but in the next example we're gonna have the base as a rectangle, so to avoid the surface. And now I hide it here, and then I hide this. And now here I draw a circle and bounding box, and I drag it up a bit, and then a bit of scale here, and it has to be scaled again. And while project is on, it should be put in this way, and again another circle, and then I apply actually loft, and I say these three lines together, and eventually loft again, and this line and this line. I activate recovery story and then OK. Maybe because I wanted to drag this line a bit upper or maybe smaller. I select the surface and I hold F10 and maybe I drag the upper points a bit upper. Make it a bit bigger and I drag it up. I select two plane and then I join them together and then I give it the material that I want. And okay, you see here. And then I use PT panel 3D custom. And here again, the points, first points, second points, and the surface. And finally, the object that I have here, and then enter. Okay. We see that here there is a different form. Okay. You can see this. Now I press Ctrl Alt H in order to show our previous objects, and we also can choose these and then delete them, and I can save this file for you with the name of 0.